It's 3 p.m. and you're hungry. You could go to Raising Cane's for the millionth time, but maybe you're looking for something a bit more exotic, and instead drive an extra 10 minutes to your local Chinese takeout place. As you leave with your order of chow mein and a side of freshly defrosted deep-fried crab rangoons, you see a small shrine located in front of the seating area. It's been there for as long as you can remember, and most people shrug it off. It's not as if this shrine is really anything special, but maybe you've passed by it enough times to notice a detail or two. Like the idol would either be a fair maiden holding a flower vase, or a very, very angry man with a halberd. None of these shrines have any kind of explanatory text about why they're there. They're just, well, there. Remember those Norman Rockwell paintings you always see in your local diner? You know, like the ones that always show an idyllic American Thanksgiving or that boy staring at a policeman? In my mind, those shrines existed to provide an aesthetic to the atmosphere, just like those paintings. It certainly didn't warrant more thought than that. And then I went to Taiwan. I saw this. Oh yeah, that's pretty neat. A cool historical piece for tourists. But then I saw this. And this. And this. And this. And this. And this. And all of this in the span of a single year. I think I'm starting to sense a pattern here.
Leave me alone! Ah!
Taiwan is home to many religions.
Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Mormonism, and Scientology of all things.
While there is certainly no shortage of such believers among these absolute juggernauts of faith, Taiwan breaks the international norm by being the only place in the world to have this as the dominant belief system. These are all products of decentralized, polytheistic belief systems that consist of elements taken from Taoism, Buddhism, and different indigenous cultures. It involves historical or mythical figures that have been deified and under heavenly mandate given governance over the affairs of mankind. Most people who come to Taiwan for the first time will visit one of 3 temples, Longshan, Qingshan, and Qingshui. Collectively, they are known among locals as the Bangka Big Three, as they are all located in Old Taipei and attract international tourism by the metric ton each year. Of these 3 historically significant sites, Longshan Temple tops the charts as the most visited by far. So let's make like a tourist and begin understanding temples through this one first. But wait!
Stop right there, criminal scum!
You think you can just waltz right in and have a good time? Well, actually, yeah, you can. Yeah, there's no catch, you just can. But that doesn't mean there aren't any ground rules. So let's sit you down and explain a few things first. Number 1. Don't step on the threshold. It serves a dual purpose of stopping water from coming in and keeping out meddlesome spirits. Don't number 2. Don't enter from the left. Always enter from the right. You're probably thinking,
The yellow wizard, there isn't an exit sign.
Actually, yeah, there is. That dragon.
Enter the dragon.
That tiger. Exit the tiger. Just remember that, and you will be fine. It's a feng shui thing where entering a tiger is bad luck. For the purposes of understanding them, you only need to think of them as glorified enter-exit signs. Don't number 3, do not point at the gods. Even your parents and teachers say it's rude to point, but doing it on temple grounds is considered ultra turbo mega rude. Of all the don'ts, this one is the most important. Don't expect people to cut you slack just because you came off a 13-hour flight and needed to express a little excitement. Now, let's see what is allowed in temples. Number 1, do take pictures. Most temples won't have a policy about it, and some even encourage it. Just don't be an asshat, as long as you remember that it's a place of worship first and foremost, and not a stumpy ground for clicks and views. However, not all temples are fans of photography. Buddhist monasteries and some New Agey Taoist temples tend to be on the stricter side. If you don't know for sure, simply ask the friendly temple staff before pilfering the temple for Instagram content. Do number 2, participate in temple prayers and customs. Anyone is welcome to do it, regardless of age, race, or background. Again, read the room and don't be the guy that people have to make regulations to prevent.
Alright, time to execute my trick.
Do number 3, ask questions. Most temples will have caretakers and personnel on standby to ensure worshippers and visitors alike make the most of their experience. Some will even be kind enough to give you a mini tour around their temple and impart some really cool lore. Now, without further ado, step right in and do care not to give your country a bad name. Big shots like Longshan Temple will have convenient English translations and help visitors make sense of everything. But not all temples will have Dark Souls flavor texts or bits and pieces of lore for you to put together. As a matter of fact, for every temple that does have English translated guides, countless more won't have any guide at all, English or otherwise. So I'm going to be talking about basic iconography and what to look for if you ever feel so inclined to visit. Number 1, we're going to start with the easiest. Guardian lions. Japan has them. The Forbidden City has them. So common is this iconography that even American Chinese buffets that sell shitty sushi will have them. They act as wards against evil and misfortune from entering a place of worship and businesses alike. The pair of lions are traditionally male and female, with some being a little too anatomically correct. There will also be a small stone ball rolling inside its mouth that is impossible to dislodge. Trust me, I've tried.
What's in the box?
Pain.
Number 2, incense burner. There will be a really big incense burner the size of a cauldron. This will typically be placed in front of the temple or the center courtyard if the temple has one. Incense is a means to invoke divinity and call upon attention to prayer and ceremonies dedicated to the gods. The tradition normally involves lighting incense, bowing to the sky before planting it in the big pots, and then going into the temple to do the same with the idol. Prayers are normally prefaced with this tradition because it's basically speed dialing the gods. Number 3, moon blocks. This will require some explanation, as it's a really esoteric practice and there's absolutely no equivalent for it in the West. Moon blocks are a fortune-telling tool that consists of tossing two wooden crescent moons on the ground. The directions they face indicate the god's reactions to the question at hand. Here's a brief explanation.
上
Jiao. One block is flat side up, the other is flat side down. It's basically a yes or approval of the question. Good job. 哭角. Both flat side down. It's basically a no or a negative indicator. Contextually, it can also mean that they object to you even asking that question, and how dare you waste your breath on them. 笑角. Both flat sides up, rocking back and forth. This lives up to the name, as they look like they're laughing as they're cradling back and forth. You either asked a question so stupid, the gods called over their buddies and are like saying, get a load of this shit, or it's a completely redundant question altogether. You just got hit with that low XD, 立角. One or more of the blocks are balancing on the edge. They either couldn't understand your question or it went straight into their spam folder. Please try again. That concludes the moon block's explanation.
Hey guys, future me here. I just wanted to let you know that I lied. Well, I didn't lie. I wasn't being entirely truthful either. See, the thing is, I talk about Chinese temples, but truthfully, I take all this footage in Taiwan, let's be honest. A lot of the pronunciation is going to be in Taiwanese when you speak with a temple staff. So when they ask you when you ask them what a moon block is, they're probably gonna say Buabui. Buabui is the Taiwanese for a moon block. Now, I'm going to tell you the Taiwanese forms for a lot of the moon block interpretations, and you're gonna have to bear with me here because Pablo Escobar's hippos probably know better Taiwanese than I do. I am not the resident expert on Taiwanese. So you're gonna have to bear with me. So we've got, respectively, 醒杯, 恰杯, 饮杯, 杯杯, and 卡杯. Like I said, my pronunciation is not the best, so I can give you a quick rundown on the pronunciation rules that my friend wrote verbatim. The tones you see on the final syllable will be the first tone. 醒杯 will be seen as a low falling tone. Third tone in Taiwanese and nasal, kind of like 下. 恰杯, 恰 will change to second tone, high falling, pretty much the same as the Chinese falling tone. For the negative result, 不 and 唔 both result in the seventh tone, which is mid-flat. B is kind of like a cross between an M and a B. So the m. Kia will do the same thing Xin did and go to a low falling like Kia. Buabui itself, the Bua will change to a low falling tone. Bua. I don't know if that makes sense or helps, but I hope it does. Alright, go back to the video now.
And on to number 4. Dragons. If you watch any piece of media with Chinese culture in it, you're going to see dragons everywhere. This is, however, not supposed to be the case, as dragons are a symbol of divinity and truthfully used quite rarely in Chinese architecture. Temples, however, are among the few exceptions. Because they are, in essence, an embodiment of divinity on Earth. Dragons will be absolutely plastered on the columns, windows, shrines, clothes, weapons, reliefs, and chairs of temples, as they will use this symbology as much, if not more, than that one guy who plastered his entire house with Sayaka Mazino paraphernalia. Number 5. Why is it so goddamn fancy? I'll end this list with the absolute first thing you will notice when sightseeing Chinese folk-style temples. Just how intricate all the woodwork and masonry is. Like, come on, look at these pillars. They're literally 20% stone and 80% dragon. These windows are literally stone trees. Imagine trying to render this temple in Minecraft with RTX effects. You'd be turning your shitty overclocked PC into an air fryer. The fanciness of it all actually serves a distinct purpose in the faith. The core concept of a temple is a place on earth to house the divinity.
Allow us to introduce ourselves.
The logic is this: how in God's green earth are you going to make something that competes with architecture in what is essentially the Chinese equivalence of heaven? The natural truth derived from this question is you just can't. But it won't be for lack of trying, and so temple builders try, and oh boy do they try to create something close. If there's even a square inch of a temple not covered with a million pieces of arcane Chinese iconography, it's heresy. What's that? The roofing doesn't have elaborate porcelain phoenixes peeking off every eave. Get that Lowe's Home Depot DIY bullshit out of here. This is a real man's world. Now let's end this topic on the small shrines of Chinese takeout restaurants, ending where we started. Remember how I told you to pay attention to those small details in those shrines? Well, let's take a look at them again and tell me if you see the similarities.
请问你们的素枣干面是全素吗？
对，
好，那买一小份。
小的。
对
炒面吗？
炒面。
好，谢谢。
谢谢。
While the small IKEA-fied versions of the big fancy temples can't hold a candle to the real deal, they serve as an enduring reminder that Chinese folk worship is probably not as unknown outside of the Far East as some people think. It is in fact everywhere, in every footprint, community of immigrants who moved to America, and the UK in search of a better life. Just like my family and countless others, they took with them more than their airline-enforced 40-pound weight limit carry-on luggage, but also the ideals and beliefs from their homeland. After all, it's not the fancy temple or the bargain bin plastic shrines that house the divinity, but the shrines we carry in our hearts. As with my Taiwan and California video, I do want to remark that Chinese folk religion is a very big subject, and it's impossible to fully cover in a single video. For example, I've got big fancy ovens and fireworks. As such, this video will serve somewhat as an introduction to future topics that will delve into the more arcane aspects of Taiwanese religious worship. I tried to be much more informative with this video because this is a subject matter that I believe demands a great deal of explanation. The subject of religion is a touchy one, and it would not do to be terse on the details. The next topic I'll be doing will be less esoteric and more on the fun side of things, so you can look forward to that. Until next time.